Hey guys, it's me. I had a few minutes to spare, so I thought that I would put out my story of how I found Wicca because I really like hearing these stories, not just about Wicca, but paganism in general. Uh, they they're inspiring and they make me happy. I'm not gonna lie. Mine is kind of funny. um, it's it's weird. I'm gonna start by saying that my grandpa is a Southern Baptist preacher, and he has been for a very long time. He is a very, very religious man. Um, Actually, the first time I saw Wicca, it was portrayed in a comic book made by a Christian company that basically said that pagans in general were like worshiping Satan and sacrificing like young girls walking in forests to Satan and all kinds of stuff that once you find out, you research a little bit, you realize isn't the truth at all. It's actually quite the opposite of that. I was introduced to these comics when I was very, very young. Um, I I thought they were interesting. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't realize then what exactly was going on. I was about 8, 9. I could comprehend what I read, but like some things you just don't grasp when you're that young. Um, well, then a little bit later, we ended up moving actually from here to San Diego, California. There, I met someone who was my friend at the time. Uh, I can't really say they are anymore. There are reasons for that, but it does not pertain to the story, so I'm gonna keep on track here for once. Um, she had a book, and the it was Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. Um, I did actually steal this book. Um, it didn't matter then. We were good enough friends. It did but I had moved and accidentally took it. I used steal in a loose term. It was an accident. Um, but anyway, I found this book and I started reading it, and I was like, wow, I feel like this. This is real. This is pertaining to me. This makes me feel right. Um, and I actually did the self dedication ritual in that, but it wasn't very personal at all. And so I kind of, it wasn't very, like, hmm. Well, basically, it just wasn't very spiritual, and it was, the normal teenage Wiccan thing where you don't really understand what you're doing, but you're doing it anyway. Um, I figured out after about 2 years that that's not the way things work. It doesn't happen like that. So I had to actually go through a lot before I realized that Wicca isn't people sacrificing things. I never did that, by the way. I'm just saying that right now. But it isn't people sacrificing things or doing drugs. I never did that either. Throwing that out there. I'm getting these from the comics. Um, it's not dedicating yourself in someone else's words. with no emotion. Wicca is passion and love for the world, for the earth, and I guess it's kind of hard for teenagers to realize that as they're growing up, and if they are Wiccan or pagan. But I just had to figure that out the hard way. But I'm glad I did, because I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was wonderful, and I should let you know. So, oh, I forgot to mention something. Before I was like 9 or 10 when I found those comic books, before that, I actually had heard of Wicca before, through Scooby-Doo. The Hex girls in there are supposed to be Wiccan. I don't think they portray it completely accurate, but they do show that, you know, it's not the way those comics were saying they were. So yeah, that's my story. That's the whole thing. You know, it's not terribly interesting or anything, but I hope you didn't mind sitting through it. Sorry, I'm really boring. I'm gonna go. Blessed be.